Good afternoon, YouTube. It's Mallory George Page, aka the Emperor of Female Body Talk, coming to you live on YouTube. Well, folks, this is the Sunday discussion, and every once a month I try to get people together on Sunday because usually it's the best time for some people, but it's not always like that. Some people do have lives, and then remember we're so close to Thanksgiving, so people have to get ready. So, folks, this is just an open panel discussion. We talk about things that happened, in the past month or so, stuff we've seen and just stuff. It's just there's no set subject. Like if you talk about Must Talk Mondays, we're going to have that tomorrow. We're going to have a subject. We talk about body dysmorphia. We can talk about that also here, and also we talk about it tomorrow. So, folks, if you are a competitor or just somebody who's a fan, come on through and share your thoughts. We can really use it. So, folks, right now I have my guests here waiting in the waves. First off, we're gonna have, as you know, this is my bro. He's the man, Mr. Jeremy Remo, aka the Art of Female Muscle, aka Femme Physique Fan.
Hey George, how's it going?
How you doing, brother? Also, we have another one of my brothers, and you know what? He keeps hugging on my girls. I don't know why. I love him. He's my brother, but he pushed up on my room too often, too much. That's my man, David Bryant, for the Female Body Forum.
Hey, it's good to see you, George.
Calls, man.
Yeah, I got to hug on them girls. You can't have them exclusively,
Hey, no, man. That's my girl. Okay, man. But you know what? You're my brother. I love you. Cool. We're cool. Just as you know, the one girl you can't be rubbing upon, my girl.
Okay.
All right, stay away from her.
Well, you get to a show and you'll hug him too.
Yeah,
I was going to say, yeah.
I hope so. I hope things turn out. And that's who we have a lovely who's been a guest on this. We have the lovely Mrs. Beverly Coleman, and she's the
Hello, everybody.
Hi.
Mr. Beverly is an amateur competitor, and she is planning on competing. We can't wait, and we might discuss that during the live stream. So, folks, this stuff's been going on in the past few weeks. Winding down the season. I think there's one more bodybuilding show that's in Brazil. I might talk about it depending. I hope a particular person doesn't do that show. But she's been busy. She's been on a world tour. But anyway, what y'all think's been going on in your mind you want to share, talk about?
Well, I guess for me, that was a situation that I noticed that I posted over on my IG is concerning rules when it comes to when it concerns NPC Worldwide versus NPC USA. Because I noticed a situation that had occurred at North Americans this year, and that was that I looked up who won the pro cards, and I was like, where are the rest? Because they had given out pro cards for the overall winners for the Open and the Masters. And that's according to NPC Worldwide rules. And they say you have to have a minimum of 5 competitors. And then if you do, then you only hand out the one pro card for the overall. However, if you go over to the NPC USA website, they have their own set of rules for North Americans. And that's been the case for quite a while, is that all class winners get pro cards. So you've got 2 organizations with 2 different sets of rules for the same show. And I bring this up because Hannah Hussein and Michelle Bogdan ran into the exact same situation at that same show a couple years earlier, and they had brought that up to the judges because they originally weren't going to get their pro cards at that show for the same reason, and that was what was cited by the judges. And so, but then when they brought that up, then they got their pro cards. So the reason Hannah and Michelle are IFBB pros is because they brought up this discrepancy. And I even just checked before the show went on. We have the exact same thing coming at nationals. Later on this year, or like the next couple of weeks. And so it's like when I see that, it's like, who do you listen to? It's like NPC Worldwide and NPC USA. If a show falls under the auspices of both organizations, whose takes precedence? I mean, this confusion, it's like we're talking pro cards here. We're not just talking a minor issue. So it's like, what happens there? I mean, have they not has NPC USA not updated their site? since the coming of NPC Worldwide, or what's going on?
Yeah, that's kind of because I know I had a pleasure of both having Michelle and Hannah on my interview with them on my channel. And I remember, yeah, because Hannah was supposed to do a show before that. She was going to do the Miss International because there was only two competitors that show. She dropped out, and that was the year that Taylor, what's the face, won her pro card.
Iragi.
Yeah,
Taylor
Rocky,
Iragi. Yeah.
yeah, and yeah, I remember they mentioned that. They said that afterwards they had to talk to someone, and then they got their pro cards. It was just it was I don't know what's going on. You think about it. Okay, if you have two different levels, okay, the worldwide covers mostly shows outside the country. All right, and the other NPC is supposed to be within the U.S. But the North Americans, you can compete. You can be a competitor from Canada and from Mexico and compete in that show. Unlike with nationals, you have to be, you don't see that many competitors out of states to do that show unless you do the amateur Olympia.
Yeah, it's just I've been trying to figure out what's going on here, and it's like this is something that has been there now for years. Because I think Hannah and Michelle was like 2 years ago when this happened. So it's like, and it's still not resolved. So what's going on with these national level shows where you've got two different sets of rules by two organizations at the same show? I mean, talk about causing confusion. And also, it's like, I would think that it would stress out the competitors. I mean, the two that I'm thinking of, the three women are Samantha Brightbeck, I think is her name, Taylor Bollinger, and Sharon Friccione. Now, Sharon's moot point because she already got her pro card in WPD at that same show. So in a different division. So she's already taken care of as far as pro cards go. But the other two women, it's like, you would think that someone would have done something. I mean, these two women, the sheer amount of work that goes into a contest prep, and I don't know if they were even realizing that going into the show or not, because it's like they should be getting both Taylor and Samantha should have gotten their pro cards. So why didn't they? Is it because of discrimination against the women's bodybuilding division, or what's going on?
Interesting. Yeah, that I didn't realize that was an issue, and I'm glad you pointed it out. I mean, one big problem still with NPC Worldwide is they have so few competitors show up that they don't even give out a pro card to the winner a lot of times, especially in Europe, and that seems like a big problem too.
Right. It's like, why would you put a rule in like that diminishes the probability of you getting a pro card so dramatically? I mean, it's like, and then it's like, and it's not like you don't have an option. You do have the petition route in which you can petition them directly, but still, I mean, you're right, David. I mean, it's like, why would you institute a rule where you limit the number of pro cards so much?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I remember that one lady, she did I think it was, what show was that? It was the Eastern European show, and it was only two competitors. Both of them did physique, and one did women's bodybuilding. And her name was Louise Plummer. I think it is. And she applied for a pro card. I remember the same thing happened a while back with a lady who I interviewed, Issa Seiler. Her and Amy Menendez, they were at a show in Europe, and they both won. I think they were the only two women doing bodybuilding. They won in each of their classes because there wasn't enough competitors. They applied for the pro card because I know Amy Muscles got Amy. They call her Amy Muscles. Amy Menendez. She got her maybe the next month, and then I remember Issa posted something. She got hers.
Yeah, same thing with yeah, that's my post, and that's where I circled what the rule is for North Americans. And then no, that's the next, go back.
Okay.
Go back to that. And then Let's see. Yeah, you'd have to scroll through. You have to swipe left to be able to see the other ones. So, and that brings the name. That's where I bring up. That's where I bring up the names, and I show the screenshots from the galleries over in NPC Worldwide. So
What's going on? It's not letting me
you
swipe.
maybe it may be the white. You maybe not be able to see it.
Oh, I can see the arrow there a little bit.
Yeah.
It's
Wait a
just
minute.
right there.
Yeah, it's just. I think it's because it's there. I think you got it.
Yeah.
I think you got it.
Okay.
There
Yeah,
you go.
There you go. Yeah.
Now that's the list, the total list of the pro cards that were handed
Yeah.
out. You know, it's the
Yeah.
overall winners and the other thing is that from Shelley McClure, from what I could tell, she is a class. No, she wouldn't be a class winner. She was a class winner in one of the Masters divisions. But those are the total number. Now these are the names for light heavyweight. The top there is Samantha Brightbeck. That one right there. She should be getting a pro card, but she didn't, as the list shows. And then if you go a couple more, you'll see the other two, which would be Sharon Friccione.
Yeah.
And there's Sharon. She's the Masters 30 lightweight winner. And then also you go one more, you'll see Taylor at the very bottom there, lightweight winner. So see, 3 women right there should have gotten their pro cards according to the rule that I circled, and they didn't. So it's like you wonder what's going on there.
Yeah, I interviewed Sharon. That was just the week after she got a pro card. Also, it was a couple weeks after she got a pro card. I interviewed Jennifer Rudolph, who also got a pro card at the show. I don't know. Like I said, I think the situation is something with the NPC.
Yeah.
They need to stick to. It's like how we talk about how the criteria when it comes down to the divisions. They need to stick to the rules. Okay, if this was a show, I would say. I think the reason why I said again why they do use the worldwide rules because the show is an international show, meaning that other people, other countries couldn't compete this show. But some people can't compete. If you're from think about it. I just interviewed a young lady who's from Cyprus. Her husband's planning on competing, and they're moving here to the States. And he says he's gonna try to do competitions here. Okay, when you live in here in the U.S., you can compete. But then you come from another country. That's why I think it's a lot harder for these competitors to find shows because there's not so many of them. I think most of the shows are getting, like just our lady who just got a pro card in figure at a show. I think it was in Denmark. And then I saw a female body challenge. They posted how one woman, there was not enough competitors so they get their pro cards. It wasn't that long ago. And it was at the Remaining Muscle Fest. There was a lady, she was competing. And she did not get a pro card because she was the only one competing in women's bodybuilding. She can apply for a pro card. That's what you usually let you do if she wanted. But it's just the thing is, it's up to the judges sometimes. They feel like if you deserve your pro card, they give it to you. Where I think I'll bring it up here because this is on the Female Body Channel's IG page. Let's see.
But do you guys think that's fair though? Because as a competitor, you can't control who shows up. You may be the only one to show up. So, I mean, you don't know who's going to be there until you do check-ins or even at the show. So I think to the competitors, it's kind of not fair because if you put in all the hard work, you spend all the money, and you be the only one show up at the show and not get anything for it, at what point is there it's almost like the competitors being penalized because they're the only ones that showed up.
Right.
I agree with you on that. I think that's got to be really devastating to these competitors after all that hard work, and to show up and not get.
Yeah, I would be very upset if I put all that work in, spent all that money, plane, flight, hotel, and all that, and God forbid I'm the only one that shows up, and then they tell, we're not going to give you anything because you're the only ones here that is here. So I'm like, well, that's not my fault though. That's not my fault that I'm the only one at this show. So at what point do you not penalize the competitor for being the only one that's there.
Yeah, and it seems almost like stigmatism because when another example would be Alexandra Antipova of Russia over at Oksana Grishina's show that they had over there. And at that show, all the class, again, or all the overall winners were supposed to be getting pro cards at that show. The lone one who didn't was the women's bodybuilding competitor, Alexandra. And that's because she was, again, like one of only 2 or 3 women showing up. So it's like out of all of the other divisions, men and women alike at this show. So it's like women's physique got their pro card, figure got their pro card, fitness got their pro card, bikini and wellness got their pro card, but she's the lone one that didn't because of this rule. Now she applied the petition route and she got accepted, so she's an IFBB pro now. But I still think that's crazy for the exact same reason that she mentioned. I'm sorry, what's the first name again?
It's Beverly.
Beverly. Okay,
Everybody
I
calls
see.
me B. You can call
Okay.
me B. Everybody calls me B.
Okay, and it's just what and Beverly pointed out. It's like for them to be the low division at a show in which this doesn't happen. I mean, and again, after all the work that goes into a contest prep, I mean, all the training, the dieting, the posing practice, everything, to not be able to get your pro card because of something like this, I think is ridiculous. So,
Yeah, I agree.
Here we have a comment from a man, KL, the one that says, "Hey, what's up? What's up, brother?" He says, everyone I met, okay. Also, he says this, he says, let me pull it up, says, "I remember that happened to a lady I talked with months ago. She told me she was the only one on the stage." Yeah, and also he's always saying like, "Does FBB fans get pro cards too?" No, dumbass.
No.
But I mean, even with the competitions, everybody, the top 2 get their pro card. The only one that doesn't is women's bodybuilding. You have to be the top person. So my thing is they need to get together and kind of, I guess, revamp this. I don't know how they would do it, but because again, that's not fair to competitors. If you're the only one that shows up, or there's only 2 of you competing, and I'm not going to give y'all, or give you a pro card, because to me at that point, then you're punishing the competitor, and then they may decide I don't even want to compete anymore because of this.
Yeah, I know this happened to Jarissa Upton, a lady who I interviewed a while back. She also competed there, the North Americans. She did a show. It was in a Caribbean. She supposed to have got her pro card at that show, but then I remember she posted. I said, "Hey, congratulations on your pro card." Then she didn't turn pro. She did. I think she did another couple more shows this year. And it's not fair. You put in that work time, go over here, bitch, because you maybe it was like 2 or 3 women in her class, and that was it. And also it's happened to a lady who also I know. I was hoping to have her on because she experienced it. She was at that's Yetta May. She was at the Miss International. And that is, Miss International, that's a show where it's a pro qualifier for women's bodybuilding. It's one of the few shows that's exclusively a pro qualifier for women's bodybuilding, because remember, Miss International was the second biggest title for women's bodybuilding in IFBB, next to Olympia. Now she competed in her class. I think it was lightweight. I think it was only her and another girl, because there was only 2 of her. She can get a pro card. But usually, I know in the past, all you got to do is win in your class at that show and get a pro card. I mean, I don't know what's going on. They use the same rules because it was Jake.
That was even in the promotional material, if I'm not mistaken. That the class winners were supposed to be able to get their pro cards at that, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So
it's kind of a self-fulfilling prophecy, I think, because these people aren't showing up to the shows because they don't think that it's gonna pay off. It's like they're not. Why should I show up if I'm not going to get a pro card after all this hard work? So I do think that that's part of the reason why the Europe shows are so poorly, such a poor show out, So, I want to mention too, women's bodybuilding always gets short end of the stick. And one example I was thinking about recently is Tyler Mannion. You know, when he did his analysis of each of the divisions from the Olympia, he
Mhm.
spent like 4 minutes on each of women's physique and bodybuilding. But I saw he spent like 23 minutes talking about men's open. You know, and he just kind of talked about top 5 with the women's physique and bodybuilding, and I was like, yeah, it's kind of shitty. I don't know. I think a little bit of equal time there would be nice, but you know, I don't know. Just used to those divisions getting short end of the stick and being treated kind of shitty, you know.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, with them, they don't really care about women's bodybuilding because they're supposed to be starting this new expo thing, and they announced that they're gonna add men's open. And they've had men's before the Pittsburgh Pro. Now they're gonna announce and say, okay, I was hoping maybe because Jake was there and he was hanging out there. I saw Jake picture Jake. He took a picture with Natalie Ray Wolf, and he was there. I said, okay, maybe Jake can talk to see if he can maybe promote women's bodybuilding at that show because they're trying to be like something to rival the Arnold, be their own expo. But then they announced they was going to have men's bodybuilding. I said, okay, maybe I'll wait down the line and maybe they announce it. They've announced that they're going to do pro qualifier for naturals. Okay, all right, okay, all right, but still, I mean, but we all know that. I know my man Keith told me that certain persons that runs the Olympia, they don't want women's bodybuilding there either.
Yeah. And it's like also getting back to what I was saying earlier about the rules, if you look at the NPC worldwide rules for the Arnold Amateur, there's one division that's missing from that list, and that's women's bodybuilding.
Well, actually,
So I was wondering when I saw that.
Let me correct you that he added that last year, and they did have it this year too. But the problem was not enough competitors.
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that if you go to the Pro League website and you go under NPC Worldwide Rules, when it comes to the Arnold Amateur, when it shows that, unless things have changed and I don't know about it. Let's see here. Let's see if I can pull it up. Let's see, where are you? Table 2 Arnold Amateur. It's like, what's the one division that's missing? And that's women's bodybuilding. So it's like when I've seen that, and that's been up there for a while now, does that mean that the women flat out are not even being considered for pro cards anymore for the Arnold Amateur? Or does that, so it's like when that's missing, it's like, what exactly are you saying when you're doing that? Is this going to be like the lone division where they're not going to have pro cards, but everybody else does? And if that's the case, how is that anything other than discriminatory towards women bodybuilders?
Yeah. I know this year they didn't get no pros for women's physique because they didn't have enough competitors. And I think it was the same thing last year because that was that year when they canceled the Arnold Classic, the Arnold Amateur, and then a lot of competitors just got their entry fee money back. And then they decided to bring it back just a little bit. I think it was they decided to cancel like maybe just a couple weeks before Thanksgiving, and they brought it back to just the week before December, just maybe 2 weeks before Christmas.
Right.
And you think about it, when you already pay your fee and they bring you back to your money, what are you gonna do? You got about maybe $600-700 in your pocket, and you're just gonna go ahead and use that for the holidays, because especially have families. Right here we have your comment from, he says, talk about female FBB haters. It's in the owners too. Yeah. Also, he says this. He says, Arnold shows no mercy. The T1000.
That's true. Yeah, think about AI now these days. I mean, he's going to be going berserk pretty soon, I think.
Yeah. But like I said, this happened also at the the Amateur Olympia. I know a lady who competed there. She won in her class, but women's bodybuilding. But because there was enough bodies, she can get a pro card. And
and that's not fair. That's not fair to the competitor because you don't know who's going to show up. So they need to. I think that they need to figure out, because you're telling the competitor, I'm going to take your money, but I'm not going to reward you because, oh, I'm sorry, you're the only person that showed up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
Now, with the Pittsburgh Pro that you mentioned, George, do they already have what women's divisions do they have already at the show? Do you know?
Where you
What
know
it
most
is?
of they have physique. You know they have the generals like figure, wellness, bikini. I'm not sure you have fitness or not. They never had women's bodybuilding, and that's it.
Okay. Because it's
Yeah.
like I look at that, and but you notice that Taylor did exactly the same thing that the Arnold did when it came to prize money. He said they've got $200,000 that's going to be handed out in prize money. I think that if I read that right, it's strictly for the open men's. So I'm like, you're able to scrounge up almost $250,000 that you're going to have in prize money, but you can't scrounge up what is it, $10,000 for to enter women's bodybuilding as a division at the show.
Mm-hmm.
Just like the Arnold did. When they said, "Oh, we're going to hand out $200,000 in prize money to the winner of the show," it's like you can never use the money argument ever again. Because if your show is such that you can round up almost $250,000 to give to one guy, but you're also the show that says, "Oh, well, we've got to tighten our belts. It was a financial decision to get rid of women's bodybuilding, women's physique, and figure." It's like you were able to come up with almost $250,000. You can't come up with even $10,000, $20,000 for even one of these divisions to bring it back. It's like it's just not an argument.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, I
just
agree.
a great excuse because with family saying because not enough people want to watch women's bodybuilding, but that's a BS. I remember KL, and KL, you went to New York Pro. He went to New Pro just this summer. If you want to come in, brother, the link's in the description in the comment section. If you want to check it out, he went there. He said that during bikini, everybody started to walk out. So you're telling me,
During bikini?
yeah.
Well, that's a surprise. Okay.
Competitors though too. They probably had a ton of competitors. That's
Yeah.
the biggest female class also.
Yeah, because I think it was at the Universe. I was talking to one lady who just got a pro card just this weekend. A friend of hers who I did an interview a while back. She told me she went to Universe, and she said that it was like nearly 600 bikini girls.
Oh my God.
And Universe was a pro qualifier. And if you think about it, when you do a show and you got that many women, then no offense. I recently interviewed the lovely Miss Monique Chilcutt. I've interviewed a couple of bikini competitors on my channel. It is kind of a boring division. It's just not as exciting compared to women's bodybuilding, compared to physique. I even give figure fitness. It's more active. It's just you just moving, walk around, stick out your butt, and that's about it.
It is kind of boring in my
But
opinion.
look at what society, even though there are people who like women's physique and bodybuilding, society and most of the men, they want to look at the TNA. And that's actually not discrediting what other women do, but that's an easier division to prep for.
Yeah.
I mean, it is. The other divisions, they're pretty intense. I just think that I really appreciated seeing this year, the quality of women bodybuilders that came out. Hunter Henderson. There were several women. So I'm hoping with that, it'll launch into something else and grow because my dog is driving me nuts. Sorry about this. But
it's all right.
But hopefully there was great quality of women bodybuilders. So hopefully they'll keep the momentum going and grow and keep growing where they can't refuse women's bodybuilding from competing.
What division do you compete in, Beverly?
I'm going to do women's bodybuilding, but I'm also going to dabble in women's physique. Right now, me and my coach discussed, we got to work on some things. I took like almost 4 years off. So that was kind of like, okay, you're starting from scratch now again. So we're trying to get some areas up and probably I'll do it. I'm thinking early spring. He said I should be where I need to be probably early spring. So we'll see what happens. But this 2025, I'm looking forward to it. It's been a while.
That's great. Yeah. I do. That one cool thing, I think the pro schedule is supposed to be out probably soon. It's usually comes out in December. So I'm kind of curious to see. I'm always curious to see every year, like what show added or subtracted women's physique and women's bodybuilding and even figure too, because I think there's fewer shows doing figure. I'm not sure about that though.
With figure, it usually, I don't know. It's kind of like with the women's, it's on the edge there, because if you look at some of the women now, like you guys, I think Jeremy, you were here that other day when we were talking about. I'm gonna pull this it was from Female Bobby Channel. I pull this up, and it's this young girl. I was talking with her, but I was hoping maybe do an interview, but she was speaking English, and she's a figure competitor.
Oh
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
Her name,
I saw that.
Stefana. And
yeah, she's
this chick,
amazing. Oh
I mean,
She's
this
almost
is,
physique, really.
yeah.
but she competes in figure.
Well, that's I've noticed the same thing. It's like I'll look at pictures of somebody that'll come up like in suggestions box or something like that and say, "Oh wow, she looks like a great physique competitor." And then I look at her bio and she sees IFBB Figure Pro. I'm like, what? Wait, wrong? You're in the wrong division. It's
Yeah.
gonna say move. It's gonna say move up, but
Yeah.
that's
There's
where.
ladies like that. That's true.
Yeah, and this morning I interviewed a young lady. Her name is Cleo, Markadis. She got her pro card in figure at the Romania Muscle Fest, also, but she also competed in women's physique. And she says she's really focusing on women's physique because she don't like the high heels too much.
She
Yeah.
looks good.
Yeah,
But that Stefanu, man, that girl is really something else. I was like, whoa.
Yeah, and it's like I said, this is one thing is, I follow Female Body Channel. They always post stuff, and they post this on their they post this in their it was
What
debate.
was that?
It was
Oh,
some
that
IG
AI.
thing.
What was
Yeah,
that?
AI thing. Now this is Tessa. This is Tessa Metz, and they had a comment saying she took 9th place at the Olympia. And last weekend she took 9th at she did another show. I think she did the Atlantic Coast.
Yeah.
And this is where I've talked about her before. This is where are you looking at where you're saying, is this really women's physique or is this figure or women's physique?
I like her for figure still, actually. I like her look.
And see that at the top there, when I read that, I was like, I just kind of did a double take on that because he says, ignore the criteria. It's like, okay, but why then do we have criteria?
Yeah.
Why do we have this criteria set down that we all are ignoring? So what is the point of that?
Exactly. A lot of blurred lines because you have women that can do figure, physique, and bodybuilding, but the guys aren't set up like that. Some of them can blur over, but right now, when you go to even nationals, some of the girls will do 3 different categories, and they're just trying to see where they fall. And, I get that some people are shredded and everything, but I think for bodybuilding, you should have some size too. And I've seen a lot of girls get their pro card. They were shredded, but they had no size. So I'm like, well, that's kind of a yin and yang for me because I feel like bodybuilding, you should have some size, but you should also have conditioning. But I've seen girls that were super shredded and they almost fell into figure and women's physique. So maybe it's just me, but
Well, I understand because you know what? It's so subjective. What's the guidelines for both divisions? If it's so easy for some, especially in the amateurs, it's so easy for you to cross over. If you're going like some of the ladies who did the North Americans, they were both doing like one lady I interviewed, Stephanie Herrera. She won 3 pro cards, 2 of them in 2 different classes of physique and 1 in figure. And and you see other ladies who also won the pro cards both in women's bodybuilder and also in women's physique. And you just saw recently Chris Bumstead. He made his men's bodybuilding debut. It was about a week or 2 ago at Prague. And remember when we were on here the last time with Janice, talking about how the posing, they try to cross over the posing with how you say the guys do their final poses, but men's classic doesn't do the same thing as men's open bodybuilding.
Yeah.
So anyway, yeah. So one thing I think somebody wants to mention is that, is uh, the big thing we talked about earlier the other week was about how when bodybuilding has changed, and who won at the Romanian was uh, Anastasia Kovalova.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you ever seen Anastasia, Beverly. This is her.
Oh yeah, yeah. She
Yeah.
has size. It's a lot of size.
I think I think she's too big. I don't, not
Yeah.
a fan of hers. And she doesn't really look very feminine at all. Yeah.
And see, I think that's where the crossroads comes for women's bodybuilding. A lot of the girls I thought this year looked very feminine. I think what happens is some of the women, to each their own. I'm not judging or anything, but I think some of the fans don't like the extreme look, and
Mhm.
I think that's where the issue sometimes comes in. But the girls this year, I thought a lot of them looked very feminine, very good muscle tone, they were on point. They had the whole package.
I was surprised that Kovaleva beat Rashana, and Rashana kind of got the second place syndrome all this year, and I don't understand that because I think she has amazing shape and structure, and she looks really good, and I was really disappointed, honestly, that Rashana didn't get a win this year and get an Olympia qualification. She's the Masters O champ, from 2023, so she's obviously doing something right, but I don't know what's going on with the judges on that one.
Yeah,
What do
because
y'all think about Rashana?
I don't know. Like one thing I think they talk about, because her I think a big weakness is her backside. I think that's the thing that might hurt her. She doesn't come in condition in the back. She looks good everywhere in the front, but I think that might be the issue's condition. And then one thing is, she did like 3 shows out of the country.
Mm,
This is back-to-back second places at Romania, then takes second place in UK. There was, as one lady who we have on here. She's a friend of ours and a friend of our man Big Keith, Big Keith's wife, Ms. Lovely T.S. Williams. She did a show in California, was the Grand Prix. I would say, instead of going to the UK, she could have possibly got her pro card at that show. But
mm,
that was a show that Hunter Henderson won.
mhm.
Or like, one thing you remember, Sherry Priami, that's David's favorite girl. She went to the show in Portugal and she lost to Anastasia Levanova, somebody who can't even do a show because this is her second win for Olympic qualification, but she has issues with visa. I mean,
Yeah.
it doesn't make sense. Just saw another lady who just also competed that same in Romania, her 5th Olympia qualification, and she has issues with getting a visa to come here and compete in shows.
Well,
I
see,
know.
that's where the coach, I mean, if you know that you have a girl that you're coaching and they have problems with a visa, why are you having them to do shows to qualify for the
Mhm,
Olympia knowing it's in the United States?
mhm.
I mean, get their visa, get all that stuff straightened out, and then go, okay, let's do that.
Was that Carol Alves? The
Yeah,
one,
Yeah.
the one who had the yeah, and I just watching that interview when she was saying, "Yeah, this is my 5th time qualifying for the Olympia, but I can't get a visa. I can't," and stuff like that. But then I listened to the interviewer say, "Oh, well, that's great." I'm like, "What's great about it?"
Mm.
So, so it's like, okay,
And just
I mean, she
get a
must not be.
MasterCard, man, or get an American Express. No, that's just a joke. I'm sorry.
I don't know. So she either has something on her record, in which it makes it hard. And now, as you know, we're going to have a new administration coming up in the next few months. I'm not going to get into that much, but that's the issue. If you have even there was like a couple of competitors this year, even last year, who couldn't make it because that issue with visas. And the thing is, the shows is here. You got your qualification. You do a show. His thing is step out of the way, because if like this is my thing. If she didn't do this show, Barbara Majan could have got her pro qualification. I'm a fan of Barbara. I interviewed Barbara Majan. She's a great lady. She could have got a qualification. for Olympia for next year. She wouldn't have to wait and do another show. Like, and let's hope that she won't do any more shows. I mean, you're not, like I said, what's the point of being competitive if you cannot come to the biggest show on stage? It's about as bad as that person who do shows, multiple shows, and you're already in the top 3 at the Olympia.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't like that either. I feel like that not only you're going to have fewer competitors at the Olympia, but also I don't know. I think it's a little bit selfish to take away those spots. I don't necessarily agree with that.
And as a competitor, why even knowing you can't go to the Olympia? Put your body through all of that.
Right.
Just rest and eat and do your workout, and then once you get all that straightened out, then compete. But just to do that and then go, oh well, I can't go to the United States to go to the Olympia, but I did this show. It's like it makes no sense.
Yeah, like with Anastasia and Sherry, top 2 at Portugal, and I honestly thought Sherry should have won that show anyway, but then Sherry had to do a few more shows to get the O qualification. But just knowing what we knew in advance that Anastasia probably couldn't get to the U.S. anyway for the Olympia, I don't know. I feel that's a little bit selfish to take away that spot,
Well, like I said, it's about being competitive. It's a sport. It's about money, everything's involved in it, and a lot of people like to stay active. Like I saw this, which to ask Jessica Reyes-Padilla why you do what you do, and she said because she wants to be in front of the judge. She feel like she wants to inspire people, but thing is, you possibly might be the next figure champion. So you already got your spot. Why not just sit and rest up? Because you never know that one person who took the time to sit, to rest, to chill out, get the qualification of the show, jumps in, and kind of like what happened with Sarah, how she comes out kind of like almost from nowhere and beats Shanique Grant for the title. So, and you should just say, what, this I might have an easy chance. Let me just, I got my qualification. I don't need to worry about it. I'm in the top 3, and might be the next Miss Figure Olympia champion. But then somebody who just say, what, I got my qualification, like maybe Lola Montez say, let me just sit and just chill. Let me rest. Let me just get things in order, fix the things I need to work on, and I might come in behind. Or someone like Rhea Gale or any other competitor who cracked in that top 5. They do a show, just say, I'm not going to do any of the shows. I'm just going to focus on the Olympia, and boom, I could be the next champion.
Yeah, I agree with you on that.
Well, I don't necessarily. I mean, no offense to anybody, but I could tend to take the other side of the argument is that, and it gets back to what we were talking about with Natalya, with all the shows that she's been doing. That she's done the Clash now, she's done Atlantic City, and she won both. But I see it as a strategic move on these people's parts because with every single one of those wins, it's one more person that's knocked off the board going to the Olympia. So if you have a smaller field and you're a top-level elite pro like Natalya is, then she has a better chance of winning. So as again, I see as strategic. Why would you not take advantage of a situation which, number one, isn't against the rules? Because, I mean, this is a direct result of them getting rid of the point system. And it also gives you a strategic advantage over your competitive rivals. Why wouldn't you take advantage of it? So the way that I see it is that, I mean, it makes sense strategically, but it's like I also, and I pointed this out not only on my podcast, but also another one of George. It's like I find people getting shade for this, doing that, saying, oh, well, they've already got their Olympia qualification, or especially in Natalya's case, because she's the one who gets the most shades thrown at her because of it. But then I brought it up. Why is nobody doing the same thing towards Andrea Shaw for showing up at the Rising Phoenix, which is also an Olympia qualifier? And every time she does that show, that's another person being knocked out. So Andrea and Natalya are doing the same thing.
But that's a world championship. That's not a regional show. That's different.
But the thing that she's getting shade for is Olympia qualification. She's saying, oh, she's knocking somebody out of the spot. So regardless of what the title is, regardless of what the prize money is, the argument against her is regarding Olympia qualification. Said, oh, well, you've already got it. You should step to the side. Well, by the same logic, then Andrea Shaw should step to the side, but she doesn't.
Yeah.
And then
here's the thing
also
with
you
this.
you got two other people who tried to do this. Michaela Aycock. She already got her qualification in one pro show. She then shows up at another one attempting to win there too. So it's like I think it's unfair to throw all this shade towards a few people and then ignore others. So it's like if you're gonna say that about Olympic qualification. So
Well, as you know, I'm not going to talk too much about my baby, but I have mentioned it. But you got to remember, the Rising Phoenix is an invitation. It's not just her. You have at least most of the women who already qualified for the Olympia, and maybe have a few women here and there who haven't been qualified because they get invited. That's the thing about that show. It should be, I would say like that. It should be open to any competitor, and I think Andre should step aside. But you know how Jake does it. And I gotta say it's yo Jake, I want that money. I want that gun. And he set that up because the fact is, y'all know, women's bodybuilding was almost on the outs after they came out of Olympia. And I feel like this. Yes, it should be more open to competitors, but it's about the top competitors. Kind of like trying to be like the All Stars Classics. That's invitational. I mentioned that about what Michaela doing that show, which she should have skipped. She skipped Tampa. One person that somebody here knows, she did Atlanta, then did Chicago.
Yeah. But I think with the women, to be honest with you, that part I don't have a problem with it. They want to do both these shows. I think it's more of a money. It may be a money issue with the women. The only thing I had a problem with was if you don't have a visa or can't come to the States, and then you're participating in shows knowing you can't come to the Olympia. To me, you're just defeating the purpose of you doing a show. But I think if your body can withstand it and do multiple shows, do it. I mean, that's more money for you for the Olympia. That's because the women do get the short end of the stick on the money. Now that I can see that.
And
So
short
then
end opportunities too to compete.
Exactly.
There's so few opportunities, and just with Natalia entering these little regional shows, I think that's what bugs me with Andrea Shaw entering Rising Phoenix, being the world championship and the big prize money. I think that makes sense, but these little regional shows like the Clash and Atlantic Coast, and I just feel it. I've heard both sides of the argument, and I've heard from many athletes who really get discouraged by her entering these shows just because they feel that she's probably going to win and most likely is and likely is. That's just the facts. So I don't know. I just feel like and I think she's probably going to enter the Brazil show too, or I assume so. But
she is.
She's on the poster and stuff, so she's probably going to win that show too. So that's just like 3 back-to-back competitors that are missing out on the Olympia because of that. So it rubs me the wrong way a little bit.
Also, I think somebody criticized me because I'll tell Zama Binta what she did. Well, I had, but like I said, Zama Binta, she was already qualified. Last year she did both Tampa and Texas. I've talked about it. But Natalia is the one that really, you got to think about it. She did at least 4 shows in 1 year. And even after she won the Olympia title, it's one thing if you won the title. Sarah, she don't do any shows other than she promotes shows. She won the title. She said, I'm good. I'm chill. I mean, I'm focused on my defend my title back. And I think that might have been the thing that might have got her to, she lost that title to Natalia. And they said, let me get back to work. Maybe make those, because like I said, let me make the improvements. She wanted back. And I think with Natalia, even after she was a champion, she could have said, hey, I'm a champion, and I'd just be happy with that. But it's not enough sometimes. I mean, I know, Jeremy, you have your thoughts. I have my thoughts. Everybody got their thoughts. But I feel like this. Ladies who reach out to me and say, George, I don't, like I said, they like her. They respect her as a competitor, but they just don't Some don't like the fact that she's coming in and just mooching and jumping on. I mean, it can be frustrating because you think about it, you put in the work and the time as much as she did. You train just, you're maybe not trained the same level, but you train just as hard. You come in your best condition. This was a shot for you to go to Olympia. Then here comes a former champion, top 3 competitor in the last 4 or 5 years. And it kind of just take your courage away a little bit. You were really psyched. Say, you know what? That one was this. So I was really psyched because the last show she placed top 2, and then she said, "Okay, I feel like this show is gonna be my show." And I said, "I mean, I feel bad for her, but I understand that this is what Natalya likes to do. She wants to be competitive. She wants to be for the judges, and also cuts down the number of competitors when you go to the Olympia."
Yeah. I want more competitors. I don't want fewer, especially with women's physique and bodybuilding with so few opportunities to qualify. And one thing that has come up, and I don't know what kind of progress is being made on this, but at least the germ of the idea has taken place. But in a show like Clash, where the first place winner has already qualified for the Olympia, then give that Olympia qualification to the second place person.
Right.
You know,
Exactly. They should do
Bump
exactly
system.
that.
Talk about that, yeah.
Yep.
Bump
Should
system.
do exactly that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it makes sense.
and you could still have the prize money. First place prize money goes to the winner, which I think is reasonable. But I just don't know if that germ of the idea is really taking shape with NPC or not. But I would like to, and IFBB,
Or Keith.
I doubt it.
Or Keith Williams, when he was here, I thought he had a good idea, and to apply to women's bodybuilding, bring back the point system for women's bodybuilding division. It doesn't necessarily have to be across the board. Do it for the divisions that are struggling in that regard. So then you do increase the probability, or you do increase the number of competitors that way. So either have the bump system, like you said, David, if you've already got your Olympia qualification, give it to the next person in line, or bring the point system back in pro women's bodybuilding, so you can increase the field at the Olympia that way.
Yeah, because men's the wheelchair division still has a point system, and and the only division that has fewer competitors in women's bodybuilding is fitness. I think they have maybe less than 12 shows compared to women's bodybuilding might be 13 or 14, and you already have the top 3 qualifiers, so that's going to add it to maybe 15 or 16 women. It would have been at this Olympia at least, I would say, 17 if it wasn't that Nadia Capozotto didn't do the show in UK, and if Anastasia didn't do the Portugal Pro, it would have been at least a fair 17. But we all know there's no such as a perfect world. It's not going to go as we want it. We have to accept what it is. As you know, I put a video earlier, and it was a video of Missy Trescott. And, it's talking about her maybe switching divisions. And I think she might need to think about that, because I know she has issues with her leg. She broke her leg at the last Olympia about a couple of years ago. And I don't know if she still should stay in fitness.
Yeah, I still think that's the hardest division of all of them, because they have to do those flips and everything, and they have to do it when they're like so lean too. I think they're probably more prone to injury. And but yeah, I could see Missy switching. Probably would be a good idea for her health wise.
Yeah.
And
she did
phenomenal.
She did tease that idea in her story, that she may very well be making that change, but we'll have to see. But I think Missy might even be able to do physique with what she's got. I mean, just the level of physique that she has, but we'll just have to see with her. That has always baffled me about the fitness division, is that why is it that a division with the highest level of entertainment value is one of the ones that struggles the most?
Yeah.
I've never understood that from a fan's perspective. I remember Tangi Johnson back years ago when she was riding high as a top-level competitor, and her Save Fitness campaign. Because then, even back then, it was struggling. And it's like, that's never made sense to me. Out of all of the divisions, men's and women's alike, this is one of the ones with the highest entertainment value. and
Yeah.
yet it struggles every year. It's never made sense to me. I mean, I realize from the competitor standpoint, you're absolutely right, David. Out of all of the divisions, it's the hardest because
Yeah.
of what they have to be able to do, not only to get the pro card, but also to get the win or get a win at a pro show. But I've never understood why the fans don't react to them the same way they do the others. I just never have.
They really got the crowd going at the Olympia this year, and one woman that's really amazing because she scores really highly in the routine department, but not the bikini presentation department, but is Taylor Laramont. And man, she gets the crowd going. She's so dynamic and entertaining, and I really like her a lot. And she's already automatically qualified for Olympia because she got 3rd place this year. So, but
Y'all, I enjoyed it. I'm gonna have to leave, but I enjoyed the discussion. Bye, guys.
nice
Bye.
meeting you.
Thank
Great to see you.
coming.
You too.
Nice for you coming through. Appreciate it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, but yeah, I think they call her Little T. She's very popular because I think she was the top 3 the last couple of years
Yeah.
in fitness, and with the return of Mr. Tress Scott, as you know, this year, what's the face dropped out. I know I know her name, Erica Deer. And she's been a top competitor,
that's for
because
sure,
she's dealing with injuries and stuff. It's tough. I want to say this, folks. We always say congratulations because this lady I follow on social media. I interviewed a friend of hers, and she had got a pro card at the Masters USA's Masters. That is one Miss Christina Salat. If I got her name wrong, I apologize. And she got a pro card.
Oh,
And
congratulations to her.
yeah.
Oh yeah, I've seen her. She looks great. Yeah, I like her.
Yeah, impressive. She won, I think, in women 50 plus.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah. I wouldn't think about it. She was 50 plus. I mean, I think, I think I know a lady who also competed at women's bodybuilding. I'm trying to find out, the lists had come out, see who got the pro cards. But congratulations to her, because now you have a new IFB pro. She has an amazing body. I mean, especially for a woman in her 50s. I mean,
Yeah, she
killer
has
abs.
great abs for sure. Yeah.
I posted it on my social media, and I said maybe we get a chance to do an interview, and I hope we can, because like I said, I'd like to get anybody who can support opportunity. Also, another lady who I follow, she also got a pro card shirt. That is Kara Barnes, and she went through some hardships.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw her video on that. Yeah.
Yeah, she's right now. Here it is.
So I just finished up on stage, as most of you know, because you're following our Instagrams. So I just want to take a quick moment and say thank you for everyone who supported me and has been there for me. I'm still emotional, but it's just been a ride. This has been the hardest prep. So I've been from the lowest low to the top of the mountain. I am so excited to have earned my IFBB Pro card in not one, but 2 different divisions. Here we go. I'll post pictures and updates, and there'll be more news soon. I just want to take a minute and share just my excitement and say thank you to everyone and tell everyone how much I love you and appreciate your support.
Well, that's
Nice.
pretty good. 'Cause, I follow her on social media. She posted a lot of, of her videos where she's going through. It's her and one of the other competitors at the show, and and it looked pretty good. She won in both 2 classes, women 45 plus and women's 40 plus.
Nice.
And it's tough. You got to think about the time, the money you put into this sport. The risk you put into it. Right here, this is a video of her. She was one point. She was out here on the right, your left, and then they switch it over and put it into center.
Nice.
And once you got in the center, that's once you get the center, you're guaranteed that you're going to win. I mean,
that's a good sign.
But congratulations to those ladies. I hope we get to see them compete. I mean, just saw that. I mean, David just interviewed a lovely lady today. He had a couple interviews this weekend. So, you've been busy, brother. You've been busy.
Yeah, I'm kind of getting back into the interviews again. I've been just busy with work and I actually traveled to two shows too that were both in Florida, the Clash in Orlando and then Atlantic Coast in Fort Lauderdale. And with Atlantic Coast, I just happened to be at the host hotel for work. And then it was weird because my work world and my FBB forum world were kind of like converging. So that was kind of interesting, but it worked out fine. But yeah, both were really good shows.
I saw that Teresa Myers made a return to Women's Physique. The debate is, could she do better maybe in figure?
I kind of like her in women's physique, honestly. I do think she had mentioned that she hadn't trained upper body in a while to kind of get more in tune with the wellness look. But I really like her for women's physique, honestly. I hope that she'll continue with that. It kind of sounds like she will. And I think she and Trish are besties and they train together. And so I think they're motivating each other now on that. So yeah, they're both really cool. I'm glad to get to know them and stuff. So
Yeah, I asked Teresa in the comments section of one of her posts. I said, "Is this move back to women's physique permanent, or is that just a deal?" And she said she was undecided. So I think you're right. David. I think she should stay in women's physique because I think she looks really good there. I don't know if she may have too much muscle for figure. So
yeah,
she could, I guess, with the way that figure is going right now, in terms of their size, I think maybe she could, but I'd like to see her stay in women's physique, but of course it's up to her. So I hope so.
It's up to her and Trish. Trish, that's a coach, and she's the one who told her to move over to wellness. And I think with wellness, if you look at the vision now, some of the women, many of them were at one point physique competitors. Some of them have either gone back to women's physique. Some have tried to stick and stay in wellness. I think it's going to be the division strongly. Mostly a lot of Brazilians or women from depending who have those strong aesthetics, that's going to work for them. I would say if you're going to do this division, you really have to work on your lower half. You have to really pull back on. You don't even do upper body workouts for a long time, especially if you're coming from physique or figure, where some of those women, they're just crazy, huge shoulders, big delts, everything. Supposed to be like a bikini competitor, but with a bodybuilder's bottom half.
Yeah, I don't know. The TNA divisions get kind of boring for me. I just like.
I'd say I like to interview some of you now. Teresa was my first wellness competitor I actually interviewed.
Yeah.
My Jada, she's switching over. And I've interviewed some ladies amateurs who compete both in bodybuilding. In bikini and wellness. It's part of bodybuilding. You might as well say.
Yeah.
But like I said, it's just. It's not my particular flavor. I'll be honest, I'll say.
Yeah, I want to see him doing some posing routine, and it was interesting. I think it was last year. I went to a show. It might have been the Tampa show, and I was sitting for the NPC portion, and this mom and stepdad of a bikini competitor were in the audience, sitting next to me, and I was talking to him. And it was kind of interesting how the stepdad kind of like kept averting his eyes whenever his stepdaughter was up, or his stepdaughter was up there showing her booty. And I imagine that maybe happens a lot, because it's just like, oh, it's kind of uncomfortable.
Yeah. Well, if he raised her, he's seen her. It's a totally different look when you see your kid growing up and wearing a bathing suit and wearing high heels. Like one of my favorite comedian, Chris Rock, said the last thing a daddy wants to see his daughter wearing clear high heels.
Yes.
Let's talk about stripping. So, brothers, I really appreciate you. Shout out to Bev coming through. I hope we're gonna have more people on here, but how it is. You know how it is sometimes. It's just, especially Jeremy, it's hard to get somebody to say, "Well, we had free time," and we tell people, "Hey, want to come on here, share your story? I'm open. Don't be afraid." But you know what? If it's just me, you, and anybody that's here, I don't care. We have something to talk about. But tomorrow is my Most Talk Monday, and we're going to talk about body dysmorphia. I'm not an expert on it, but I know, me and David, we have interviewed and talked to women about it. And it's something, if you see some competitors, they talk about how it can be really a lot, especially for women. I think where society has the idea of what women should look like. We talk about the issue between femininity or for muscularity. We talked that last week, but it really affects how not just the men, just the women, also the men too, how a competitor think of themselves.
Yeah. There was a girl a while ago, someone I'd met at shows, Haley McNeff. She was being groomed for being the face of women's bodybuilding at one time in the NPC, because she does. I mean, if you look up videos or pictures of her, she has a stunning look, and everybody was wanting to work for her, but she got a really, really, really bad case of dysmorphia, of muscle dysmorphia, and because of that, she walked away at like 23. She was, it was like, and it's like she's never been back since. And she says, I can't do it because this is what happened to me. It's like this is how I saw myself, as opposed to everybody else seeing me. And it's like that was it for her. And it's like a lot of women this affects to the point where they do walk away from this. So it's like this is a topic, and they themselves acknowledge that. I saw that Chelsea Dion, she recently answered somebody's question about, do you want to get up to 200? And it's like saying, no, I don't. And it said, I already deal with body and muscle dysmorphia already. And it's like just as the way that I am. So yeah, this is a topic that needs to be talked about because it affects so many people.
I remember Haley was amazing, and I like the fact she didn't have any implants or anything. She just really beautiful, and I remember there was even like a documentary made about her, I believe.
Yeah, that was where it started for her, because she it was Raising the Bar 5 or Raising the Bar, I don't know, it was Raising the Bar 4, chapter 5 or what it was, but she took an almost fatal dose of diuretics at that show, and that was what they filmed. Was her, she was like struggling to walk down the hallway to be able to get to the show. I mean, she was like, she had slurred speech. She's barely conscious, basically. And they said, they even said it backstage, is that if she starts looking bad or she starts throwing up, do not let her out on that stage. So, in fact, let's see if I can pull up the clip where, let me see if I can pull the clip up real quick, where she talks about that.
Yeah, she's beautiful. I do remember her, and yeah, she looks really good.
Yeah, we had a comment from Brock of F5. Brock F5, he says, body dysmorphia affected Jessica Padilla. She photoshopped her photos and got busted by Goop. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I didn't know she would call that by Goop like that.
Yeah, I think also he caught Mila Ash. She did the same. I think that was like with stuff that I think either Wing Strength, because Wing Strengths have their thing. But yeah, because you know what, it's a lot tougher, especially when you're young like that. 23. I think she needs more time to grow and develop. I mean, I know you want to groom her, but the thing is, you got to give these young, people time to grow and to develop as an athlete. It's like I said, young people can, they are excited to do anything that gives an opportunity to grow and to progress. But sometimes it's good to have that experience. Maybe another, when she hit about 30, then push her to see how she does. Because by then she's more mature, she can handle things. At 23, what were you doing at 23, David, when in your life?
I think I was finishing up college at that time, or I got into my first job. So yeah, and I was trying to figure out life, trying to figure out what the hell I was going to do for the rest of my life, so.
Yeah. When I was 23, I was working part-time at a gas station, just being at home, watching movies and playing video games with my brothers and my cousins. I mean, my nephews. I mean, we're young, there's always the things you want to do in life.
Yeah.
And that's the thing is, this is why we talk about something like this. This is something I think a lot of bodybuilders don't want to say because the mental aspect of it. Some people feel like they don't need the help because I did an interview with a lady, she does OCB. And she talks about even though she doesn't take the gear like she's a natural competitor, she still has to deal with issues of post-show blues.
Mhm.
And she does go see a therapist about that because you need that help. This is from Brock F5. He says the young ones that shine at the start burn out quickly. Danny Reardon
Yeah.
could have been the face of WPD. She should have been, in my opinion. Yeah, because saw Glenn just interviewed her a while back. She's doing. She's more into spiritual things. She's into other stuff. Another name that pops in my head, Shannon Courtney.
Yeah.
She had a great opportunity, but now she's now a mom. She's doing CrossFit. I mean, there were so many women. I think good part of 2000s that could have really blown up. I remember Alina used to have this one girl who was a client. I forget her name right off. Beautiful physique, great sex. She kind of almost reminded me a bit of Alina. She did, I think, a couple of pro shows, and after that, because she's also in the military. Last time I heard, she got married. She was pregnant, and she hadn't. You never know. She might come back. She used to have a IG social media, but she's scrubbed that. I don't think she even have that anymore. Yeah. So you got the video, Jeremy, or are you gonna send it?
I do. Let me hold on just a second.
All right.
Let me get it to you now. Okay, I should have just sent it to you.
That's all right. All right, let me see. I'm gonna see it.
Now it's like the documentary deals with other subjects other than bodybuilding. So you need to forward to where she is, which is like, let's see. How far in is it? It's gonna be like roughly about 8 minutes in.
Okay, I think I started right there, and let me pull. Let me see. I've got to copy paste the link, and give me a second. And I think I'll see. I'm not as fast as some of these young folks, so now I'm an old man.
Right, these whippersnappers.
Yeah, these whippersnappers.
Since we're now, if I'm not mistaken, as in George, have you joined the Big 50 Club? You just joined the Big. Because so guess what? We both have too, David and me.
I'm 51. Yeah.
Right. So.
And did you do like Sally O'Malley? Did you say, I kick, I stretch, and kick? I'm 50.
No. What I did what me. I took a clip from the end of Dark Knight where Jim Gordon talked about he's not the hero that we want. He's the hero that we need later. He's a secret guardian. He's a Dark Knight. You can find that. I sat there and recorded myself. I got a shirt my nephew gave to me. It says, "Here's gonna hate." But it's too small for me to wear, so it fits pretty well. You look at it. If you look at it, I look like Jethro Bodine. With the speech, but here he is. I'm gonna pull it up, and
this is from
Team Universe show.
This is from Raising the Bar 4, Chapter 5.
Competition, and as any serious bodybuilder on the East Coast can tell you, an overall win here is a good way for a natural bodybuilder like Haley to turn pro. When I arrive at Haley's hotel room, I find that there is no one there to help her. So now I have to try to shoot this documentary and help her get to the stage at the same time.
Not good.
What's happening?
Oh my god.
Oh no.
I can't stand up without, like when you're about to faint.
Yeah.
And you start getting like really hot and dizzy and your knees get weak.
That's what's happening?
That's what's happened.
So what can we do to get you going? 7:30. To hold your hand?
Dude, that's not gonna...
What do you have to do to get out of here?
I need to be able to walk. I'm all ready.
Okay.
Like, I managed to put my suit on, and now I was gonna fall over again, so I went back down.
So you're dressed. If I carry your bags, you should be okay.
But I just can't walk. And I was like, Haley, you should eat. The thought of eating makes me want to puke.
I'm completely at a loss. I've never experienced putting my own body through this kind of ordeal, so I have no idea what to do. We decide to call Dave to see what advice he has to give.
That's Dave
Dude, we are
Pulcinella,
having
Mike's brother.
problems. I cannot stand up for more than 15 to 20 seconds without having fainting symptoms and having to sit down unless I really want to faint.
Okay. Have you taken in a little water, like I said? And when was your last meal?
I already did the water. The thought of eating makes me want to puke. And like I think I actually might puke.
Well, then maybe you should just puke and get it over with.
Well, if I puke, it's going to get worse.
You need to get yourself together and get out of that bed.
Dude, I don't know if I can stand up for that long. I just brushed my teeth and almost fainted again.
Well, maybe you just need to forget the show and get yourself to the hospital if you feel that bad.
That is not happening. I am not doing the show and going to the hospital.
What's happening to her right now? What can we do about it?
Nothing you can do about it. You just compete feeling like that.
If I faint, I'm not telling you I feel fainty. I'm literally about to hit the floor and pass out.
Well, I told you need to get in a little carbs. Just
You need to graze on those rice cakes or something like that. That way you have some sugar coming in.
and the rest is just lay there until you have to go to the show.
Dude, I can't eat a rice cake. I'm telling you, I'm gonna puke.
Well, then lay there until you have to go to the show. Like that.
We have to go now.
Every once in a while, move around. Take those pictures for me. I want to see where you are.
Hun, we don't have time. We have to go now.
Right now.
All right.
What if I eat oatmeal?
Can you get that there?
I think I can.
That would be great.
Okay.
Not with water. Chew it dry.
Hun, I have to drink water if I'm gonna be able to walk.
You already had water, you said.
Dude, I'm telling you, from last night when this happened,
Water is not your problem. It's not that you need to drink water. And it's not that you need salt.
You just need to suck it up.
how do you suck it up when you're fainting? I'm not being a pussy.
The same way I sucked it up when my feet were curling under.
Oh my
Suck it
god.
the fuck up.
Okay, bye. This is not helpful.
What I didn't know at the time was that Haley had taken too much of a particularly strong diuretic, according to her, a near fatal overdose. If that was true, I should have been taking her to the hospital, not a bodybuilding show.
Suck it up. I can't suck up fainting. I wanted some helpful medical advice. I wasn't calling to complain. Oh my god, I'm going to kill him. This is not what I need.
You've got to do something to get you better, because if you walk in there like this, if we make it there and you walk in there doing this, they're not going to let you
I know.
compete. They're not. I'm going to make you some oatmeal. Where is it? Where's this spoon? Right there. Get this in here. This might be the thing that you need.
Dry oatmeal, yuck. That's yucky.
Then he heat it up. Take it to the hospital. Chill.
Isn't bodybuilding fun?
I've never seen anything like this.
I remember how it was in my life. Ever.
So with nothing left to do and no help on the horizon, I gathered Haley's things together and, lugging what I could, began to help her down the hall to the elevator, trying to get a few shots that I could use while being very aware that she could vomit or faint at any time. Try that, Steven Spielberg.
I'm going to have to take you to the hospital, get you something to eat. You can't go on like this. If they see you walk in there like this, they're going to descend on you.
Sure. Why people feel bad.
127, Lisa Lopez. 128, Gina Mancini.
Well, that's what I wanted to show about it, was that just that she said later that her dysmorphia caused this, basically. Is that basically this is what, and then that was one of the reasons why she left. I don't want you to get in trouble with a copyright strike or anything like that for
Well, I
posting
hope-
that, but it was like,
Yeah, I
but
remember
that was why she left ultimately, was because that it kind of drove her to just see her body in such a way that she couldn't do it anymore, so she left, and she's never been back since.
Wow.
Well, you know, that's the thing is, I hope they don't, because most times they don't, because it's just like a little documentary thing. So, and you know, the guy
Okay.
probably, you know, he's not that big. You know, he may not even think about it. You know, because how long was this video? Like about 20 years ago.
Well, more like about 10, 15. So,
10, 15, yeah. So yeah.
but you do have fair use. So,
Did
Yeah,
you see
fair
the
use,
phones
so-
on there? There's some old school phones on that one.
yeah.
I think she had a Blueberry, or was it one of those things? Yeah.
BlackBerry.
But BlackBerry, whatever you call it, yeah. It was a while before I got a cell phone. I mean, you know, I had a couple of them. I just kept either breaking them or losing them, you know. But yeah, now I got one. I need to get this one. I had it for a good while, but I know I need to get some work done on it, you know. But I can probably get myself a new one. Maybe my Christmas gift for myself. But yeah, it's just from a man, Brock F5 says diuretics are dangerous. Competitors really have to be careful. That's how Elena Avani died, because she took a diuretic when she ain't supposed to. You know, it dried her out, and she pretty much dehydrated. You have to be very smart. I know you want to compete. I know you want to be your best, but let's say you want to be died. And at that age, you should have went ahead with the hospital. I mean, went to my nephew went through some bad shit. I say, you go to the hospital now. You have to, because the fact is, there's nothing I can do for you here. That's to go where you can get the help. And he's doing all right now. He's doing all right. Because, you know, he's never, you know, I've been through it when I was taking care of my mom. You know, we were in and out, because sometimes there were things that, you know, one time my sister said, hey, drive me to the hospital. Hell no. Call the ambulance, come pick you up, then take you to the hospital. There's no point in me driving my car. If something happens to you, what am I supposed to do? You know, there's nothing I can do. But yeah, we will talk about this. We might even show this video. We might, I don't know, you know. But we will talk about that, you know, hoping we can have our usual guests here. I was hoping to try to have Lori on here, but she's busy. You know, I was hoping to try to have something, but you know what? Like I said again, it's good if I can have guys like you, guys who are a fan of bodybuilding, especially when bodybuilding, come in here and give you thoughts, share. Appreciate Bev for coming through. You know, shout out to her. She, you know, she's always game for this. And best of luck. So if you want to check it, you know, go to my man David Bryan's channel, Female Bodybuilding Forum. You want to check out, he just posted 2 interviews. He interviewed one of my other girls. Hey, I mean, push out my girl. Yvonne's my girl. I had her first.
Oh yeah, she's a cutie. I like her a lot.
She really, you know, she really told. I think she showed just about as more, maybe a lot more than we might even do her than with you. And that's pretty good. I mean, you know, he really brings the people out. And also check out my man Jeremy over his female physique fan channel. He right now he was going to have an interview with Angela Noe, but Angela, we talking this morning. Her IG got hacked.
Oh no!
Yeah, so I wasn't trying to figure out why she wasn't coming, and then I finally looked at my message requests, and then she was there calling from her business thing, saying, "Hey, I'm sorry, it got hacked, so I wasn't able. So we'll just have to reschedule that for later." So
no, that sucks.
hoping to do some more this week, because I'm on a forced vacation because my business is shut down for the entire week. So we're going to try and see about getting something else.
Yeah. And also tomorrow will be our Muscle Talk Monday. So we're going to talk about the body dysmorphia, where we have some guests. I mean, you know, my man Keith also, maybe because it's so close to the holidays, you know, so maybe we might get some. I might see if Lori might want to make it on, or reach out, see if, you know, because really, we want to get the perspective from the bodybuilders, from the competitors.
Right.
You know, because they're the ones who go through this. Me also, as a big man myself, I understand body dysmorphia, because you know, being that, you know, I'm kind of overweight. I'm really not kind of. I'm really overweight, fat. I'm fat bastard. They get to eat the baby. Yes, yeah. They used to say to when my niece and nephew were little, say when they were like say, hey, Dr. Evil, you keep your money. Let me eat your baby. They're so cute. But anyway, folks, thank you for coming through. We appreciate it. Shout out my man Jeremy. Shout out my man here, David. Best of luck to all y'all. Shout out to Katie, the one who came through here. You know, shout out to Brock F5. Anybody watch this, share, comment, subscribe, follow us. Catch us tomorrow, 5 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time for Muscle Talk Mondays. You want to come on. If you are a competitor, and I know y'all competitors, I don't want to do this because I don't want to. This is why we have these live streams and these podcasts. It's about y'all. And y'all should be able to come out here and share your story. If you just want to come on, hey, I could say we could set up, we could put you like black out your face or something like that. Like, you know, you said when you interview the mob, you know, and just distort your voice. You know, if I had the technology to do that.
I remember 60 Minutes would show that the blackout face and then the distorted voice. I was curious if you ever had, I know you've had Sherry on for interviews, but has she ever joined a panel like this?
Only time we had something like, we didn't do panels with her because, you know, she's busy. She got a job and kids. I don't think that's her thing. We did have a time we did the signing for Bad Rap. That was really it. But most of the time, I think most are not as open to talk about their, like, other than maybe Tina would come on through here and Bev came through here, and you was hoping to have Eunice and Lori, and just heard from Mary Ann Wachowski. She just got a biopsy. Everything's good, you know. And I was hoping to have her, but you know, she has some stuff she has to do. But you know, it's up to these competitors. It's great when you like my stuff, but hey, don't like it, come on here and say something. This is about you.
Yeah,
it's about your sport. And you know, you feel like you have a grievance, don't be scared. I mean, I know you'd be worried about, but you gotta think about it. If you're not the top level competitors, you shouldn't be worried about it. You just might, you know, mostly judges or whoever not really watching my stuff. If they are, hey, you judges, come on here, have some courage, man up. We want to talk to you too.
If they get mad about it, fuck them.
That's right. That's my man there. That's my man. I can't call you other word, but that's but you know, yeah, that's how it is. Just like I said, like Brady Mac said it, and you know, just like David said. So, folks, thank you for coming through. Appreciate your time.
Thank you for having us, George.
Yeah,
not
I'm
a
going to
problem.
be heading out. So,
not a problem, brother. Good. Have enjoy your rest of your force week.
Thank you.
Thank you. So, yeah, thank you too, David. I appreciate your time. Yeah.
Good to see you. Thank you.
You too. Anyway, folks, shout out to you here and watch this live stream. Thank you for support. Follow, comment, subscribe. And if you're a competitor, if you have the time, really come on, share your story. We want to hear about it. We want to know what you go through, what's in your mind. This is why I do these live streams, because we want to get your feedback. This is your sport. This is your division. You should be able to talk about it freely and openly. Don't be afraid. Don't be worried about what a judge or administrator or whatever's going to say. This is about you. If they got a problem, like David says, fuck them. Anyway, it's your Always George Page, aka the Emperor of Everybody Talk. Like, don't like, subscribe. I am out. Have a good afternoon, good evening, and a good night.